Tony Flexen here for Seconds Out with Ted Cheeseman. Ted, we're here to announce officially the October 27th show at the Copper Box, fighting for the vacant British super welterweight title against Asinia Byfield. We thought until this morning that you were going to be the main event on the show. It's now John Ryder's fighting in a world title final eliminator, but I'm sure you don't mind sharing the spotlight with your stablemate.
Nah, of course not. John's a nice fella. He deserves all the credit he can get.
Is he someone that you've learned a lot from in the gym? You've got some older, more experienced heads in there?
Yeah, of course. He's been pro quite a long time now, and you can pick up a lot of stuff off John. He's a tough pro. He's a hard-working pro. He works at it hard, and he deserves everything he gets.
This fight against Byfield, not only is it for the prestigious British title, but it's against someone who's been avoided by a lot of other fighters in Byfield. A lot of people have dropped out of eliminators against him in the past and things like that. Does it disappoint you at all that a lot of talk in the last 2 weeks has been about Anthony Fowler and his potential fight against Scott Fitzgerald?
Nah, none of that sort of bothers me. And there's a lot of things I've all avoided and stuff like that. In professional boxing, there's a lot of politics. Like, I pulled out from a fight with James Metcalf, not because I didn't want to fight James Metcalf. I fight James Metcalf tomorrow, but because it was meant to be for the British title, a purse had been agreed, and then it was begun down to a final eliminator where Perth weren't worth the fight. You get what I mean? And there's values to fights, and the thing of people not taking a fight with Byfield is that certain fights with him, fighters are going in with fights where they're non-promoted and stuff, and like Eddie Hearn's my promoter, he's back in the fight, and I'll make sure like my purse will be agreed and stuff, and that's why I took the fight. No one's avoiding Byfield, do you get what I mean? I don't think he's already been beat. Why would people avoid him? Do you get what I mean? But obviously, as much as he wants to talk himself up and make himself look good, he can, because by the time the night comes out, I think it'll be forgotten about after this fight.
I think some of the reason people might not want to fight Byfield is not just because they're fearing a loss, but more that he can make them look bad. Yeah. Is that something you're concerned about? Nah.
You can only make someone look bad for a couple of rounds. Like I said earlier when I was speaking to someone else, he don't fight good, and he ain't a great counter-puncher, and he ain't a great fighter. He's good at being awkward, you get what I mean? And there's only so much you can be awkward for, do you get what I mean? There's a certain amount of time before I get to him, and when I get to him, then I start nailing him. It'll be a change in the fight.
I saw you on Toe to Toe talking about how you've become known in the last few years for tear-ups. In the amateurs, you were certainly known for tear-ups. I remember those days well. Do you think a fight with Byfield is going to give you more of a chance to show your boxing skills? Because they are there.
Yeah and no. Certain points I'm going to show my... But to be honest, this fight, I'm going in there with a mindset of search and destroy, do you know what I mean? And that's how it is. So if there comes situations where there's a chance of me boxing and stuff and more counter punching, maybe there is. But to be honest, I want to go in there, be spiteful and get him out of there.
It looks maybe like a future fight with someone like Fowler might be the one that helps to showcase those boxing skills. He's a bit more straightforward and a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, definitely. When someone comes to fight me, like when I boxed against Carson Jones, someone comes to fight me, I was sticking there as much as I wanted to, and then obviously Tony told me, look, box a bit more. And I enjoy having a fight, but obviously I know I can box, and when I need to, I will be able to box, you know what I mean? So that's what not a lot of people don't really understand. I can box, I can fight, and I'm very game. I've got a lot of heart, so like when the going gets tough, I'll get going, do you know what I mean?
For a lot of casual fans, you've kind of come under the radar. So when obviously Fowler, an Olympian, you've got Fitzgerald who had a star-studded amateur career, so they've been talked about a lot. You've kind of come under the radar and gone past them to an extent with the guys you've been fighting as a pro. Is that quite rewarding for you that people are talking about you more now?
Yeah, of course, because when I turned pro, I was only 19 years old. I'd had a couple of years in the ABAs. I won a lot of junior and youth titles. I got to the ABA semi-finals, thought I should have won, never got the decision, and I didn't look back. I ended up turning pro and pushed on. I didn't think that I'd end up getting into the being picked for the Tokyo 2020. I didn't want to wait for that. Do you know what I mean? So I turned pro, and my aim ever since I turned pro was to become a world champion. And whether I have to go under the radar or come out, I've done my good fights. I've worked my way into this position, and now I'm starting to get an household name, and everyone's going to know who I am once I get this big fight. Once I get this fight away, there's some big fights to come.
How important is it to you that you entertain the fans and you have a crowd-pleasing style rather than just getting the win every time?
It's important because obviously you got a fan base, but the thing is with my style, it ain't that I'm trying to entertain. It just comes naturally. Do you get what I mean? That's the sort of fighter I am. Do you know what I mean? It happens with the way I fight. The fans are going to enjoy it. Do you get what I mean? It's only if someone's very negative, and then still when they're negative, I'm going to be pushing the fight. So all fans should enjoy when I box. You get what I mean?
You've mentioned the fan base. You've had that big vociferous fan base since you were an amateur. What's the key behind building that? How have you managed to do it?
I'm not one of these outspoken, delusional people. I'm true, and I'm a likeable person. If you know me, my personality, I'm a likeable person, and I think people get behind me because they know I'm a hard training pro, a hard training fighter, and I just want to go about my business and get as far as I can.
And just the last one, you've obviously talked about getting this fight out of the way, and then there's bigger fights out there. What do you see as those bigger fights, and how far away are you from world title level? Is it 2 years, 3 years? What do you think?
No, I think after this fight, obviously the plan is to win this fight and then fight hopefully the winner of Fitzgerald versus Fowler if that fight's made. And then, like, obviously you can't always look too forward, but mate, with certain fights, when you win a British title now, in a year's time, this time next year, there could be a world title shot pop up or anything. And I'm not the type to say no, do you get what I mean? As long as it gets offered to me, I'm going to say yeah, do you get what I mean? So you never know what's around the corner. So whatever opportunity comes next is what my management team bring to me.
Brilliant. Well, Ted, we wish you the best luck on October 27th, and we hope everyone tunes in because you are an exciting fighter.